All right, so Dalton, here is your yoga class. Again, this is really a full body session to really go into the hips, spine, shoulders. We'll tap into those wonderful tight hamstrings. But again, the main goal is to move intentionally and allowing yourself to feel into the tension, not go the path of least resistance around it. Okay? So we will start in child's pose. If it is more comfortable for you to maybe prop your hips up a little bit for the first few rounds so your legs don't go numb, you can definitely do that with a yoga block or a stack of books, something along those lines, just to keep your hips up a little bit more. But otherwise, we'll come into child's pose. Knees are going to be slightly wider than your hips. Your hips are going to drop towards your heels, and you are going to walk your hands out and rest your head on the floor. Now really work to find length in your spine. So as you're making your hips heavy, you're reaching through the tips of your fingers. Okay, those arms should be engaged, and you should be feeling a strength and length in through your whole torso. And from here, we're just going to take 5 rib cage breaths. Okay, so deeply inhale wide into your ribs. As you exhale, navel to spine. Inhale wide into your ribs. Think of expanding out in all directions. Exhaling, navel to spine. 3 more. Deeply inhale into the ribs. Exhaling it all out. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. From here, we're just going to walk our hands over to the right, making ourselves into a side stretch here. And so we want to make sure our left hand is reaching further over to the right than your right hand. Right, so we want to really keep our left hip reaching back as our left hand is reaching over to the right. And now as you're breathing wide into your left ribs. Exhaling, navel to spine. We'll do 2 more here. Inhale wide into the left side of your ribs. Exhale, navel to spine. 1 more inhale. Full exhale. Then same thing, second side. So we're going to walk our hands over to the left, making sure our right hand is reaching further than the left. And we're keeping our right hip heavy as we're reaching as far as we can with our right. Again, once you settle in, we'll breathe wide into the right side of our ribs. Exhaling, navel to spine. Inhale wide into the right side of your ribs. Exhale, navel to spine. 1 more deep inhale. Full exhale. Then we'll walk our hands back to center. Again, arms nice and stretched out. With our next inhale, we're going to rise onto all fours. Exhale, back into child's pose. Do this 5 times. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. here, we'll come up onto all fours, adjusting so our hands are under our wrists, our knees are under our hips, and we will do some classic cat-cow. So as you inhale, we'll come into cow, so we're dropping our belly, lifting our tailbone, lifting our chin, feeling a nice stretch through the front line of our body. And as you exhale, chin to chest, press the floor away, tailbone towards the floor. Inhale for cow pose, tailbone up, chin up, stretch open your chest. And exhale, chin to chest, tailbone to floor, press the floor away. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Then inhale to your neutral spine. Now we'll work into those barrel rolls. So similar concept, but now we're moving into some lateral movements here. So inhale for cow pose. And as you exhale, push your right ribs over to the right as you're rolling up into cat. And then as you begin to exhale, those ribs press over to the left, rolling in to cow pose. Okay, 2 more of those. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling over to the right, up into cat. Inhaling over to the left and into cow. And then reverse your direction. So now as we're exhaling into cat, we're moving to the left. And we're inhaling towards cow, we're going to the right. 2 more of those. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Neutral spine. And we're just going to make our way onto our belly. Working some back body strength here. So hands are going to stay down by your chest here. And all we're going to do is do some hovering cobras. So what I want you to do first is take the front of your shoulders, pull them up away from the floor, and then I want to have you slide your shoulder blades, those triangles on your back, I want you to slide them down towards your hips, okay? So you should feel your lats engage, okay? Then hover the hands, keep the shoulders as they are, inhale, lift, exhale, relax, inhale, lift, exhale, down, keeping those shoulders pulled up and away, inhale, exhale, 2 more, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now we'll take our arms down by our side. Again, just lifting the chest, anchor the tops of your feet to the floor. We're going to lift the chest, lift the arms, palm to the ceiling to start with. And then we'll do 5 snow angels, all right? So as you inhale, you're going to sweep your arms forward, finishing with your palms facing each other. And as you exhale, you'll sweep back, finishing with the palms to the ceiling. Okay, keeping that chest lifted, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, 2 more, inhale, exhale, really finding that movement of the shoulder blades along your rib cage here. Inhale, and exhale. Right, hands back next to your chest. This time we're going to keep the hands on the floor. Anchor your all 5 knuckles into the floor. Front of your shoulders pull up. Shoulder blades pulled down, press into the ground, lift the chest, and shoulders away from your ear, neck feels loose. Take a deep breath here, chest forward, and then exhale, pressing back into child's pose. And curl our toes under, and then lift our hips into down dog. All right, you can keep those knees bent to start with as we work on bringing our chest towards our thighs, right? We want to think length from our hands all the way up to our hips, right? Really soften into those shoulders, allowing that chest to go further towards your thighs. We'll hang out here for a few deep breaths. And as we do that, if you want to pedal out your feet, bending one knee, straightening the other, waking up your ankles and calf muscles, hamstrings. A few rounds of these while we settle into the down dog. And then both legs straight as they can go. Again, lift those hips nice and high, feel length. Deep inhale. And then exhale back to all fours. And then we'll come up to kneeling here. Okay. From here, weight's going to shift into our left knee. We're going to take our time, hover the right knee, and bring it forward to a low lunge. Okay. First round here, we are keeping a 90 and 90, so knee straight over ankle, hips over back knee. Right? We want to engage our lower core, so navel to spine, tailbone slightly towards the floor. Keeping that, we want to reach that left arm up and over our head. Again, lifting that shoulder blade up to create nice length. Right hand can hold left wrist, side bending to the right. We'll hold here for a breath or two. We'll come back up to center. Open our arms to T, twisting to the right, and trying to not let the hips move, right? We're just working with the rotation of our rib cage. And then back hand, right hand is going to come to the small of your back. Staying in this rotation, left hand comes up and over. See if you can turn and look behind you. Keep that lower belly pulled in. And exhaling back to arms to T, rotating back to center, relaxing the arms, hovering the foot, sweeping it all the way back. All right, same thing, second side. So weight into your right knee, hover. Again, sweeping that foot up to center. Right. Find that 90-90 lunge, so knee over ankle, hip over knee. Engage the lower belly. And right hand reaches nice and high overhead. Left hand holds the wrist. Side bend over to the left. You might be noticing now how one side feels different than the other. That's completely normal. And then arms back up to center, and down to T, twisting to your left. Again, trying to not take your hips and legs with you, right? You want to keep your left knee stacked over your ankle and just rotate from the ribs. And then back hand, left hand to the small of your back. Right hand sweeps up and over. Again, we're keeping that rotation, trying to look behind us over our left shoulder. Deep inhale. Exhale, arms to T in your twist. Then inhale back to center. Relax the arms. Front foot is going to hover. Sweep it back. Relax. Hands down to all fours. lowering all the way onto your belly. Again, nice easy cobra. Front of the shoulders pull back and down. Press into the hands, lift up and hold. Again, look at your hands. Are your first knuckles, your base knuckles, your palms lifting up off the ground? Press your palms into the ground. Okay. Exhale back into child's pose. And inhale, all fours. And we'll come again to kneel. Shift your weight into your left foot. Hover the right. Sweeping it forward. Okay, and this time we're going to first engage our belly, right? And then we're going to drop in. We're going to drop our hips down and forward into a low lunge. Hang out here. Yield into the tension. Okay. Let's reach our arms overhead. And then as we exhale, we can take our hands to the floor. If you want to adjust your front foot forward a little bit, you can. As you take those hips back and work towards straightening your right leg. Okay. From here, we'll kind of work dynamically here. So let's come back into our lunge. Arms come up overhead. And we're going to keep our legs engaged here. It'll help with our balance, and it's actually going to help open you up a little bit quicker. So again, we talked about scissoring our legs. So our right foot is planted down, and I'm actually pulling that foot back, right? And my back knee, I'm actually engaging it forward, okay? So as we inhale, we lift up, my legs are engaged. Exhale, sweeping the hands back. And now my right heel is pressing down, but also pulling back. It'll help engage more muscle in the back of your leg. Inhale into your lunge. Exhale, sweep back into your hamstring. Go 2 more dynamically. Exhale. Inhale for your lunge. Exhale to your hamstring stretch. And inhale back into your lunge. You can relax your hands on your knees or just hang out here. Right? A few breaths. See if you can't get that chest lifted a little bit more length in your torso. And then we'll shift back into our half splits here. And we're going to hang out, so make yourself comfortable. And again, knee towards straight, doesn't have to be straight. But then anchor the heel down, draw it back to engage those hamstring muscles as well. Stretching and strengthening is the best combination. And now let's just kind of flex and extend our foot. So point the toes, bring the toes back. Go 2 more, point and pull, point and pull. Keeping your foot flexed, now sweep your foot side to side. So out to the side, sweep it in, 2 more, out to the side, sweep it in, 1 more. Inside, then back to center. Exhale. See if all that movement allows you to go a little bit further into the hamstring stretch. Take a breath. And then we're going to come back into our 90-90 lunge here. And we're going to pivot on our left knee so we open up towards, for me, the long length of my mat. So my hips are open, my right knee is staying over my right ankle. In this position, our knee likes to drop into the side. So really engage those outer hips to keep your knee over your ankle. Your left shin is pointing straight back, okay? And we're gonna lunge here, opening our hips this way. And we're gonna press back 4 more. lunge, and up. And everything's trying to stay in a straight line. So knee over ankle, and then hips stay in line with your knee, right? Sometimes we feel like we can go further, but we're sticking our butt out or dropping our chest, right? So stay tall. Let's go one more. Drop back, okay? Now we want to pull our foot in a little bit and come onto the ball of our foot. And we're going to work internal rotation. In and sweep it out. Right, 5 times here. We've got 3 more. 2. Last one. Okay, now we'll pivot all the way back to the front of our lunge. Hover our front foot. Sweep it out to the side and back around. Right, same thing, second side. So hovering the left knee. Pulling it up and around. This time, dropping our hips forward into our lunge. And feeling into that tension, right? Making sure our body's not moving in the path of least resistance, right? We want to move into that tension. We don't want to force ourselves into it, but we want to feel it. Okay? And then we'll draw back. Again, just kind of testing out the pose here first. Just seeing how things are feeling. And then we'll move a little bit more dynamically. So as we're inhaling, arms up overhead, hips drop forward and down. As we exhale, hands sweep back, hips back, toes to the ceiling. A few more times. Inhale. Exhale. Where our legs nice and engaged, helping with balance and deepening of the stretching. Go 2 more. Last one. Here we can release our hands to our thigh. Again, drop down, see if that dynamic movement allowed you to open up a little bit more and go a little bit deeper. Right, a few breaths here, keeping our chest lifted, feeling that core turned on. Then we'll shift our hips back for the hamstring. Again, making yourself comfortable. If it's easier to have a block or 2 or a stack of books to bring the floor up to you, that's also something that you can do to allow you to focus more on the hamstring, right? Rather than trying to keep balance on the floor. That's always an option. Okay. Heel down, draw it back. Okay. Few breaths here. Feeling into the tension. Right, now we'll start to point and flex our foot a few times. One more time, so pointing the toes, pulling the toes back, and keeping the toes towards the ceiling. Roll the toes out to the side, and then roll your toes inward. And continue sweeping your foot side to side, and feeling the tension your body's holding. One more out to the side. Back to the inside, back to center, and then we'll come back into our lunge, and we're going to open up. I'm going to flip directions so you can still see me here. So again, back into our 90-90 lunge here. We're going to pivot on our right knee, so our hips are open, and making those adjustments so our knee stays in line over our ankle. Our hips stay in line with our knee, and then we just go straight down. We're staying tall in our chest, and back. Down, and back. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. All right, we'll pull that foot in a little bit so we can go on the ball of our foot, and then we'll rotate that knee in and bring out. Allowing our hips to be nice and mobile really helps release the rest of our body. We have 2 more. The pelvis is kind of the base for everything, right? So if we can keep that area mobile and open. Let's go 1 more. I lose count when I start talking. We'll pivot here. So focusing on the hips is a key to just staying open, okay? And then from here, we'll hover the left foot, yeah. Drop back, bring it back down, and then we will bring our hands to the floor, curl our toes under, and then come back into a down dog. In here, taking a few breaths, anchoring our hands to the floor. Think about spinning your biceps up towards the ceiling. It'll kind of help open up the shoulder a little bit for you, so you can draw your chest towards your thighs. And since this is our second down dog, take a moment and feel if it feels any different, if your legs are a little bit straighter, anything that might show you you're a little bit more open than where we started. All right, both legs towards straight, deep inhale, and then deep exhale. We're walking our feet to our hands into a bent knee forward fold. All right, so bending the knees so our chest can rest onto our thighs. And we'll grab opposite elbows, let the head hang, and just a few breaths here in this forward fold. Feet firm on the ground. Releasing your elbows. Let's sweep our hands wide and up overhead as we stand. And then exhale, release the hands to your side. Okay, we'll do some half sun salutations, so moving in and out of a forward fold here real quick. So again, feet hip distance apart. We'll inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, softening the knees, folding forward. Hands out to shin. Inhale, stretch your chest forward, so think flat back, or like if you were working through a deadlift, right? Exhale, refold over your thighs. And inhale, sweep wide, sweep up to stand. Exhale, release the arms. Right, 2 more of those. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Hands on shins. Inhale, chest reaches forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep wide, sweep up. Exhale, release the arms. 1 more inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chest lifts halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, sweep wide and sweep up. Exhale, release the arms. All right, coming to our standing sequence with a little bit of balance here. We are going to bring our weight onto our left foot, and lifting our right, we are going to place it just on our calf muscle here. So to really help with balance here, again, the left foot's firmly placed. Think of anchoring your big toe, the inside of your foot, to the ground. You're pressing your right foot into your calf muscle. You have a point in front of you that you're looking at, and even the act of pressing your hands into each other helps create that midline balance. Okay? I'm going to take a few breaths here. Finding that balance and that focus. And then let's sweep our knee out in front of us. And then we'll slowly and gently step back into a high lunge. And then reaching our arms up overhead. From here, we're going to inhale, straighten our front leg. As we exhale, we're moving back into our lunge and drawing our arms into a goalpost. Okay? We're working on really engaging our back and opening up our chest. So see how far you can keep those elbows. And inhale, reach. Exhale, lunge. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Staying in our lunge, reach those arms up again. And then we're going to pivot onto our back heel, our right heel. Again, if you want to flip around so you can see me. Coming into our warrior 2. Taking a moment to find our stride. Again, front knee over ankle. Knee isn't dipping in. We're staying tall here. Back leg, pressing the whole foot of, our whole foot firmly to the ground. Now we're going to take our left arm, cross it over our right, kind of hook those elbows, and then just bring those forearms up towards each other. Okay? And then think about reaching your elbows away from your body, opening up your upper back. Right? And now just tilting your head back towards the right shoulder. Again, a little extra shoulder stretch, neck stretch. And head back to center. Arms out to T, front leg straight. We're going to reach that left arm forward. Place our hand on our shin. And then we're going to do some nice, big, engaged arm circles. So as we inhale, that arm comes up overhead. Again, reach. Like somebody is like pulling on your arm. Make it feel like that. And reach forward. Drop the hand down. Inhaling as we sweep it back up. Go 2 more. Full extension. Back up. 1 more. We're exhaling as the arms come down. And as we inhale, we'll keep that arm reaching to the sky. Hold. And then on your next inhale, brace your core. Come back to T. And then we'll pivot back onto the ball mound of our back foot into our lunge. Without falling over. And stepping back to the front of our mat. I'm going to come back to my original front of the mat. Same thing, second side. Weight on the right foot. Left foot comes to calf. Again, firmly plant the right foot. My left foot's pressing into my leg. My hands are pressing together. And I'm choosing a point in front of me to help maintain my focus. Staying nice and tall. And we're going to bring our knee out in front of us. And then start to step it back into our high lunge. Settle into your stride. And as we inhale, front leg straight, arms overhead. As we exhale, lunge and goalpost your arms. Okay? Inhale. Exhale. As we're coming into our lunge, we want to keep that lower belly engaged. Inhale. Exhale. Feel that stretch in your chest. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Then we're going to just stay in your lunge and reach up. Nice deep inhale. As you exhale, arms to T, opening to warrior 2. Taking a moment to find our stride. Checking our knee. Back leg is engaged. We're staying tall over our pelvis. Right arm coming across the body on top of the left. And again, just taking the backs of the hands towards each other. And then reach those elbows away from your body to open your upper back. And then the head tilts towards your left shoulder. A few breaths here to feel that nice opening. And slowly release the head to center, arms to T, front leg straight. And then reach that right arm forward, place it on our shin. And as we inhale, left arm reaches up and over. Again, make it as, and then as we exhale, the arm comes down towards the floor. And again, we're making it feel as if somebody's slightly tugging on our arm that's moving, right? To find the full length of our stretch. One more full circle. And up. As the arm reaches to the ceiling, we'll hold for an inhale. And exhale. Bracing our core, inhale, arms to T. We're going to pivot forward into our lunge, arms overhead. Exhaling to step forward, releasing the arms. Take a moment to stand here. Right, then inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, stepping back to down dog. Right. Hands are planted firmly over mat. Biceps are rolling up towards the ceiling. Hips are lifting up away from the floor. The heels are heavy. Legs are moving towards straight. They don't have to be straight. We're going to rock forward to push-up position. Slowly lower onto the floor. Hands stay on the ground. Shoulders lift up away from the floor. Slide them down your back to engage those lats. Press into the floor, lift chest. Deep inhale, feel your breastbone move forward with the inhale. And then exhaling, pressing back to child's pose. And then hanging out here just for a few rounds of breath. Again, taking a moment to see how this child pose feels compared to the first one that we did today. Coming back onto all fours, we're going to shift onto our back. Right, and knees bent, feet on the floor. Right, from here, our right ankle will cross over our knee. Right, and then if this is a good enough stretch, totally hang out here. You can get a little press of your thigh away. And for me, I actually like to press my thigh away and then my thigh resisting the press. Again, I like the combination of stretching and strengthening at the same time. If you feel like the stretch can go further, you can pull your thigh in towards your chest. Not necessary though. Again, we're feeling into our tension, not forcing ourselves into our tension. So if you do have a hold of your thigh, gently release your foot back to the floor. And keeping the legs as is, we're just tipping our legs over to the left. Right, planting our right foot on the ground. Right hand comes out to T. Left hand gently presses the thigh away again. Again, I'm pressing the thigh back into my hand as well. Just helps me open up a little bit more. Helps me feel more into my tension. sign. Okay, so again, foot remaining on the floor, perfectly fine. Again, feel into your tension, listen to your body. Okay. Left hand can press the left thigh away. If you're doing that, I would suggest resisting that press by pressing your thigh back into your hand. And all the while, remembering to breathe. Right, we're kind of in our cool down, so returning to breathing wide into our rib cage. Exhaling, navel to spine. We're coming into our twist, so releasing the hands, tipping the legs over, and finding a spot where you can have your left foot firmly on the ground. And again, right hand pressing, left thigh away, thigh resisting the hand. It's one of my favorite stretches, so I could totally just hang out here all day long. But we won't, we have things to do, right? So releasing the hand, drawing the feet back up towards center, uncrossing. From here, right knee comes into your chest. Give it a hug, left leg goes straight. Keep the left leg engaged though. Think about trying to anchor that left thigh to the floor. From here, before we come into our twist, let's hold the back of our thigh. You can keep it in towards your chest. Just a little dynamic hamstring work, right? We're just going to work towards straight and rebend. Give me 4 more. Work towards straight and rebend. 3 more. Work towards straight and bend. 2 more. Work towards straight. Last one. All right. Now we'll take our right knee across our body. Right arm comes out. And I like to rest my foot on the opposite thigh. And again, coming into that resistance mode, my left hand is on my thigh. My thigh is resisting back into my heat. Slowly come out of your twist. Left knee comes into your chest. Right leg goes strong or goes straight. Again, keep it nice and engaged, right? We're thinking of right thigh anchored to the mat. And then hands come to the back of your left thigh here. And again, we're just going to do some dynamic hamstring work. So working towards straight and coming out of it. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, last one. And then right hand can guide the left knee across the body and resting your foot on your opposite thigh, left arm up to T, and then again, thigh resisting the hand. Now as we're hanging out here, sometimes being too focused on resisting makes you miss the opening of your body. So again, the main thing is moving into that tension, or as that tension's releasing, allowing that knee to continue to drop towards the floor. Right? Sometimes if you're resisting too much, we miss that release. And slowly coming out of our twist. both knees bent here. Then just to kind of reconnect to our core and stabilize through the pelvis, some easy bridges, so feet hip distance apart, arms down by your side. As you inhale, we'll lift the hips, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, come down. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. And if you feel like you need to wipe your knees side to side a little bit, feel free to do that. And then making our way into Savasana. And take both legs straight. Arms down by your side, palms facing the ceiling. Eyes are closed. Allowing yourself to feel the support of the floor. Allowing your body to get heavy. Imagine the heels making a small dent in the floor. Feel your calves become heavy. Thighs and hips soften and relax. Rib cage in your chest. Feel it nice and open as you breathe into it. Allow your shoulders to drop towards the floor. And allow a sense of softening, starting from your shoulders, traveling through your upper arms, encircling your elbows, sliding down your forearms, finding a spot in the center of your palm, and allowing that softness to disperse through each one of your fingers. Back of your head is heavy on the floor. Relax your jaw, releasing the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Softening between the eyebrows. Allowing your body a few more moments to remember what it feels like to be relaxed. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, starting to wake the body back up. Stretch your arms overhead, reach through the tips of your toes. Full body stretch. Taking a moment to roll on to the right side of your body. And then pressing ourselves up into a seated position. All right, there you go. I hope that is beneficial for you. If you do have any questions about anything we're doing or what you're feeling, please just shoot me a text message, okay? Otherwise, have fun, open up, and I'll see you later.